We all have a responsibility for the precarious state of our natural environment, but that also means we all have the opportunity to make it better. The economy and the environment are so closely linked that you can't have one without the other. And so the truth is we need to be finding solutions that protect them both.
I grew up sailing on Puget Sound, and it always stuck with me that everybody always got out of Seattle and went north, and that's where we were. So we were always heading north up into the San Juan Islands and all that. And there was one trip one summer where my dad talked us into going down south. And we came down into South Sound, and there, of course, was just about nobody down here. And the water was warmer, and there were no ferry boat waves, and there was no freighter waves to speak of. And so it seemed like it stuck in my head as this, as kind of this precious place that nobody went to. When the subject comes to environmentalism, and a lot of environmental groups focus on all that we're losing and all that we're polluting and all we're destroying, which, there's plenty to point at, obviously. But I think that what my book tried to do, and what I kind of believe needs to be done more often, is kind of celebrating what is still here. No, it's not as pristine as it used to be, but there still is an amazing stretches of wonderful strips of marine nature around here, and that's one of the things about the Land Trust that gets me, is that they're preserving these large stretches of shoreline. You go to Gull Harbor, and you can't paddle around there and not come away thinking, wow, this is a fabulous place, and the Land Trust saw that and sees the need of places like this to be preserved, to kind of work as ways to keep the whole area healthy.
As the director of a conservation organization speaking to a room full of business leaders, I feel a little bit like I'm at a counseling session trying to amend my errant ways. Good afternoon, I'm Eric Erler, and I'm an environmentalist. In the late 1980s, a group of local citizens, met to discuss their concerns about a proposed development near some wetlands and a salmon-bearing creek. What was unique about these people was that instead of giving up hope or threatening legal action, they proposed a solution that would preserve the sensitive habitat and invited the developer to participate in the discussion. That property they were concerned about, a 70-acre property in the Henderson Inlet watershed, was conserved, allowing for public access, which still continues to this day, and Capital Land Trust was born.
I kind of set out to do a reporting job as you know, that I would have done in the old days to try to profile their organization. And so I interviewed some people that provide grants to them, and I interviewed board members and just a variety of different people, and as well as larger land trust groups to get a feel for how they stand out in some ways. And in the process of doing that, it just kind of reaffirmed what I felt, which was that they're extraordinary, that they have this ability to communicate with everybody, that they have a great rapport with the people that provide the grants, that they do this, that they're very patient in the way that they go about getting the support of landowners and even timber companies and all these different factions that usually aren't at the table when a quote environmental organization is trying to do its business. I was an environmental reporter for a long time, and they immediately struck me as something different because I'm used to environmental groups that usually are in the middle of fights, where the environmental group is waging this side of the battle and that there's somebody else on the other side of the battle. And in their case, they didn't seem like they had any obvious enemies, and that struck me as highly unusual.
If you're always kind of running around pointing the finger at everybody else saying, you know, this is your fault or this is what you're not doing, then it's hard to build the kind of collaborative approach that's necessary to really do something about that. Why do we need a healthy Puget Sound? Well, for one, you know, a huge part of our economy depends on the health of Puget Sound. Not just things like fishing, commercial shellfish harvesting, sport fishing, and those kind of things, but your weekend enjoyment, your ability to go kayaking or boating out on the Sound. But far beyond that, all of the, you know, Puget Sound is an estuarine environment, which means that, you know, estuaries are one of the most productive living systems on Earth. Inch for inch, estuarine soil is more productive than the most fertile soil in the Midwest farmland. So, you know, these places generate all of the wildlife from, you know, the small microbacteria all the way up to orcas and, you know, the salmon and everything else. So, you know, it's from an economic standpoint, but it's also from a quality of life standpoint. Everything is interrelated and tied to the health of our natural environment.